Next with us is Nives Radovic. She's the founder of FinTech Online Center and also the author of Fintechlopedia and CBDCpedia textbooks. And as well the initiator of From Bits to Banks, which is an educational module that brings AI and blockchain closer to banks. She entered the world of blockchain in 2012. She has a master's degree in this field and is also pursuing a PhD in blockchain. She's also a fine artist for 20 years, which is a wonderful thing. And she'll talk about AI and blockchain shaping the future.
Thank you so much. Hope you hear it. Yes. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your decision to spend this part of the day thinking about one topic that might seem a bit complicated because combining blockchain and AI is not a simple thing and is not a common thing in technology. And I will try to simplify the explanation why the combination of these two technologies should exist and why it should be a trend in the industry in the coming years. But mainly from the perspective of somebody who is originally from the financial industry. So as you have seen, I am cooperating with the Belgrade-based blockchain company Bloxico, but I'm also the founder of FinTech Online Center that provides education mainly for bankers and sometimes for regulators in the Netherlands and France. I'm originally from Montenegro, so it might seem like it's a bit hard to locate me. But at least we can see each other on these conferences. But even harder question, even for my close friends and family members, is what I actually do for a living. Many of them may say I actually do something about cryptocurrencies, which is not the wrong answer, but not actually the precise one, because I'm mainly in the blockchain rather than in crypto, even if I enter the crypto world very at its early stage. So I will talk about actually and discuss later with you about the combination of blockchain and AI. It seems like something that's new on the market, but these are two technologies that will be complementary, and I will explain why. So just for the start, let me just tell how my financial career actually get me to the blockchain world and how at the end it combined AI and blockchain. So my career started almost 20 years ago in a bank. It was actually something that was very inspiring for me. Even it wasn't my dream job, I might say, but it was very useful, especially for a young person, to learn how the money works, how the value of assets is being transferred from one place to another, how some processes are going on, because in the end, whatever we do it for money, and we should understand how the value of money particularly is being changed. So after spend some time in a bank, I decided to proceed with monetary research, particularly with the research of the euro as a single currency, which was very inspiring for me. Euro as a single currency was something that at that time particularly more seemed like a project than just like a currency as such. So euro was something that was a huge challenge for somebody who is trying to find out how come many different countries that have different economic power, different size, different GDP, different types of economy and so on could share the same currency. So I was searching to find the answer for that question, and how actually euro is impacting some countries, especially some lower economies and so on. And I was trying to find that answer through some research, publishing articles and so on. During that time, during the part of my research, the big economic crisis of 2008 has happened. If there are some younger people in the audience, I guess they might not remember how it all looked like at that time, but I might assure you that it was even harder than any bear market in crypto or any crisis that you witnessed in your lifetime. First of all, because it affected any single citizen in the world. We may say that crypto markets are bad. We see the bear crypto markets are bad. We see that they affect global crypto population, but it's still less than 5% of the total global population, since the adoption is not very high. So we see that it was on a larger scale, very big crisis that actually created some trends that actually made us to think of a financial world in a very new way. So the paradigm shift in the way we perceive money is something that happened in 2008. So during that time, I was even more inspired to continue with monetary research. And in one database that I've been researching in 2012, I was actually trying to find a way how can some global currency, like euro is for Eurozone or for European Union, how can something that is some kind of a global currency could be a solution, or would it be a solution? Because during before, during, and after the big economic crisis, we have seen so many currency wars. We have seen the situation that was really strange with the dollar, euro, and so on. So currency pair went wild, and the situation was very tricky. So I was trying to find what would happen if, for example, there would be some kind of global currency. I was researching one database, and I found the term very first time for me that moment, something that was called Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was very new to me at 2012. I decided to research it, and for somebody who perceives things from the monetary perspective, Bitcoin was very interesting as something that, first of all, has its deflatory nature. So for somebody who is from the world of finance, Bitcoin looks like a new paradigm of the way we will perceive assets and the way the assets would look like in the future. If we take a look particularly at what happened, let's say, in the past several months or few years, we will see that actually the impact of inflation, inflation was actually under the impact of some monetary policy that has been ongoing over the past years when governments were printing money and created all that chaos. So now we have the situation that we have some new way of perceiving things. And I really like that idea. But outside of that, the world of cryptocurrencies went wild because everybody was creating new cryptocurrency. The market was saturated. The things went like everybody is in crypto. People were like trying to find the ways to even do some scams, do some very bad things that nobody wanted to happen. And we see a chaotic situation in there. So I decided to proceed with researching blockchain rather than crypto world, and to see what can be some use cases of using blockchain to fix the global economy outside of just crypto and cryptocurrencies and being the platform for crypto. So blockchain could have many use cases, and one that I really liked at that moment was the idea of having blockchain applied in the global supply chain, particularly when it comes to maritime trade. At that moment, I have read, it was in 2017, I have read an article published by IBM and Danish conglomerate Møller Maersk, one of the biggest maritime companies in the world. So those two giants joined forces to create one very big project about moving supply chain on the blockchain to control international trade and to fix some irregularities that were very visible at that time. One of the most famous and the biggest one that caused the global scandal was Qingdao scandal in China in 2014, when many exporters from China actually multiple times calculated exporting of the same goods and created the fake reports, and that had an impact on the banking sector, interest rates, and so on. So after that, I started my research about blockchain in supply chain. That's the topic of my PhD thesis, and that's something that kept going on and so on, but I wasn't satisfied in the way how things look like if we just apply supply chain on the blockchain, because blockchain in supply chain could regulate some things. It could be a bit helpful tool, but cannot completely solve the whole problem. Why? Well, first of all, because if we talk about international trade, if we talk about maritime trade globally, whenever you order something online, you have noticed that there's a term named shipping costs or whatever, even if it's not transported to you by a vessel. The reason for that is because shipping is still more than 90% of total goods traded internationally. So imagine how huge dynamics of the global international trade, maritime transport is. So applying all that to blockchain would be like a mission impossible. Even IBM and Moller-Maersk last year postponed their project TradeLens because they saw that it can give some direction how to fix the global trade, but it cannot completely be the solution how to fix all these problems. So during that time, I got an invitation from one team that consisted of mathematicians and project managers who invited me to join that team and try to use that. They wanted actually to use my part of my thesis as the foundation for the project that they plan to implement. So the idea was to add artificial intelligence to blockchain in supply chain. I know it seems like things have already been complicated with blockchain in supply chain, but adding artificial intelligence to it is actually something that had added the meaning to the whole process. So why should we think about adding artificial intelligence to blockchain, particularly to smart contracts? Well, first of all, if we think of smart contracts as something that is automated, we have to understand that it works with the data. And loading large amounts of data, like it's international trade, like it's a global maritime transport, or any globally huge amounts of data is something that cannot be processed manually or with some tools that do not use AI. So applying AI to smart contracts is like adding some kind of super helper to this and automating, adding more adaptability, adding more freedom adding more better aspects of blockchain and using the potential of the blockchain in the best way. Also, the way data is being distributed. When it comes to AI, we always think of some kind of database that is stored at one central place. So either it's a knowledge base, either it's some kind of information base, but any data that are loaded somewhere that are used by AI are usually centralized. So we have to decentralize the data in AI in order to prevent any kind of manipulating that data or any kind of situation that might be very problematic when it comes to the outcome of those answers that we want our AI tools to give to us. The immutability of blockchain is actually something that is also important when it comes to working with AI tools particularly. For example, imagine you have some kind of knowledge base, like articles such as the one you have on Wikipedia, and you are asking your AI tool to provide you some, for example, scientific answers. For example, if your AI tool is combining some academic database and you have like tons of PhD or publications and stuff with a very scientifically proven accurate data, but somebody has some intervention in that data, make something, delete something or add something that is not accurate, at that moment, the answer that your AI tool is giving to you is not accurate, and the whole project actually collapses, and you actually question the integrity of the answer. So the immutability of blockchain is actually something, when we put all those data on the blockchain, anybody's intervention into database would be almost impossible, in terms that we would know that somebody had made some kind of changes or something that would impact the outcome of what we did, or actually what we were searching for. And also, there's a very important thing when it comes to homomorphic encryption, and something actually that we want to see when we are dealing with the data in generally, when we are dealing with the privacy. So this means that, for example, to process some kind of data that are encrypted, in this case, it doesn't have to be decrypted to be processed by the tools that we are using, which means that it will protect privacy. This is very, very important, for example, when it comes to dealing with the medical data. For example, if we want some kind of AI tool, and AI in medicine is not being applied in a scale that it could be technically possible. First of all, because of the privacy of people who have to keep secretly, who actually those who will process those data will have to keep secret about their private information. So in those terms, having this type of encryption, homomorphic encryption, we will actually see the possibility to deal with the data that are encrypted without breaking anybody's privacy. It will also be very, very significant when it comes to financial information. For example, somebody can process some financial information of a bank customer or some payment user and so on without breaking into their personal account, without following their private information when it comes to something that shouldn't be publicly available and that should be protected from anybody else's from anybody else. So this type of encryption is something that will be more efficient when it combines blockchain and artificial intelligence. When we started doing this project, I made a small survey asking a group of 2,000 people who were from 25 industries, but who had some kind of connection with financial informatics or in banking, or those industries who had experience with something that's related to payments, fintech, blockchain, or artificial intelligence. So my question was, do they believe that in the near future there will be an impact of any of these two technologies on the other? So the information that the survey has been completed, the first survey has been completed in June last year. And the outcome, the majority of people actually responded that there will be no impact at all. So no, they didn't see at that time that blockchain could impact artificial intelligence, and they didn't see that artificial intelligence could impact blockchain. So 56% of people actually gave the answer that there will be no impact between these two technologies. Some less percentages of people, actually smaller percentages of people, responded that they expect either one to impact the other or vice versa, and some that they just a tiny percentage of only 11% in June last year responded that there will be a mutual impact between artificial intelligence and blockchain. A year later, the survey has been made, and it's still the biggest group of people thought that there will be no impact at all. But the number of people, the groups actually who responded that there could be some impact, even the group that there will be mutual impact, almost double during the year. First of all, because people have seen some kind of possibilities that these technologies could be complementary in some way. But the one reason why do people think that there could be no impact, no connection, because they see actually no connection between these technologies. It is true that blockchain and AI have not so many things in common. Actually, they don't have almost nothing in common, besides that they are disruptive technologies and that they are like a buzzword these days, that everybody's talking either about blockchain or artificial intelligence without even using it in a proper way or without even having some business related to that. But generally, people are talking about these technologies. People like to know something about them, but without connecting them, because not being connected in these terms and not having evidence that these two technologies could work together in many use cases, they don't see particular connection. But what we will see definitely in the coming years is so many cases, actually use cases of these two technologies, that will actually show you how one may benefit from another and vice versa, in terms that it will be faster, more secure, more feasible, cheaper, and of course, more desirable types of technology. So we must think of this type of, so to say, symbiotic potential of these two technologies. So without comparing them, without trying to find some similarities between these two technologies. It's not like making them work together, but it's like using tools from another, the best side of another, the best features from one with the best features from another, in order to create some meaningful tools, especially when it comes to processing data. First of all, when it comes to data that has to be secure, that has to be private, and it has to be accurate. It will be mainly applied in the financial world. It will be mainly applied when it comes to protecting financial data, because the reason why we don't see so much applications of artificial intelligence in the banking sector so far the way we could. Of course, banks are using artificial intelligence in many data processing, but when it comes to some customer experience, besides chatbots and some, so to say, providing other services, now it's first of all because of the privacy of their data, the privacy of the financial data in many banks. So that's even the reason why so many banks do not cannot say that they don't understand, but they don't now still don't have the possibility to apply these technologies in a way that it's to show their full potential when it comes to fintech, when it comes to providing financial operations, and when it comes to providing financial services based on a combination of these two technologies. So I will be happy to respond to all your questions now or later if you try to contact me either via LinkedIn or some other type of messaging. So thank you so much for your attention.
Professor always has questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a professional deformation of professors. So you mentioned somewhere education. And what do you do in that respect? Because I do myself, I'm in the education business. So what kind of education are you?
It's education for bankers, mainly when it comes to blockchain, artificial intelligence, and generally fintech. So either combining these technologies, but also with the emerging of stable coins, crypto, CBDCs, and so on. It's also important to understand how things are regulated. So it's something that combines legal aspects of technology and also its implementation in the banking. Generally, education means that we are actually, all of us who are doing it, especially when it comes to bankers, we try to remove that type of fear, because many bankers, for example, who are my biggest clients, try to, for example, try to actually select some AI courses. First of all, one of the reasons many banks did at the beginning, now it's a bit different situation, because they saw that there could be some kind of, okay, what can we do, what should we do in order to prevent this AI reduces our possibility to work as we used to, and so on. So that type of information, actually just providing the facts and putting in some way that it could be useful for bankers.
Any more questions? If not, I would thank you once again
so much
for your inspiring presentation.